I'll stay with you on the next one. In terms of Nigeria, what do we have specific targets, both short-term and long-term, in terms of what we want to achieve in our energy mix? I know globally there's the outlook as published by Bloomberg, looking at the outlook for 2050 is to globally to achieve about 74% renewables. And out of that, only wind and solar by themselves would contribute about 56%. That's on the global scale. Now, if you look at it from the Nigerian perspective, are there specific targets that we are working towards in terms of this mix?
Yes, we have fully keyed in, we are a signatory to the United Nations Sustainable Energy for All initiative. And as you know now, it's actually a Nigerian that is heading, that is the CEO of UN Sustainable Energy for All. So we work very closely with them. And we also have keyed into the 2030 target. This is the decade of action, and we are pushing as much as possible, to ensure that by 2030, we don't only electrify all of the areas that currently don't have access, but most of this will be from renewable. As you know, there is this Nigerian Renewable Energy and Energy Efficiency Policy, which is a policy of the federal government that was approved, I think, in 2014, 2015. And basically, it's called the 30-30-30. It's looking at having 30 gigawatts, 30 gigawatts, 30% of our energy mix being from renewable, and achieving that in the year 2030. So that's the target, national target that we're looking at. For us in REA, we're looking at how we can connect rural communities, to any type of technology, really. For rural electrification, it's normally technology is not biased towards any technology, but because of this specific, peculiar advantages of renewable, we sort, of key into renewable energy because it sits very well with our plants. So for us, we're looking at how can we connect at least 1 million people every year for the next, few years up to 2030. That's why we have several programs, under the REA that geared towards achieving all of this. So, for instance, we have the Nigerian Electrification Project, which is funded by the World Bank and African Development Bank, and then we have targets of electrifying hundreds of thousands of rural communities through renewable energy, largely solar. And then we have the Rural Electrification Fund, which I oversee, that partners with private sector as well, to scale up electricity access across the country, because we know that for sustainability's sake, it's not something you just go and deploy in a village and leave it there. That's what used to be obtainable, and which is one of the factors as well militating against scaling up renewable energy. But now what we've discovered is we need to work with the sector so that they take care of O&M and then the sustainability of the project over the long haul. So for Nigeria, it's not just a question of having targets, but we are also walking the talk by putting funds, trying to source for more funds, putting in projects that would actually help us achieve some of these targets. And we are also not looking at only solar, because if you notice, most of our projects that we deploy are largely based on solar technology. So recently we started a new program called the Innovation Hub, Research and Innovation Hub. So we're looking at how we can encourage local universities and local players to do more research into other areas, renewable energy technologies, and see how it can be adopted locally. So these are some of the things that the government is doing locally in Nigeria to ensure that we catch up with this energy transition, and also cashing on it to achieve our targets in 2030.